Today I have Laura Schewel, founder and co-founder and CEO of Streetlight Data with us. Laura, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
I'd like to start with our standard question. Tell us what Streetlight does, who you sell to, and kind of what its value is.
So Streetlight, we're a data as a service company. That means we sell information. The information we sell can describe how a place works, who's going there, what's happening. So for example, take a mall. We sell data that says, for this mall, who are the people that go there? Where do they tend to live? Where do they tend to work? Are they going to the mall on the way home from work? Are they going on special outings on the weekends? Do they tend to have kids? Do they tend to be wealthy, speak Spanish? And all that information sounds very simple, but previously the only other way you could acquire it was by a very difficult and expensive survey process. And we make that information available automatically and instantaneously about almost any place in the United States.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And how are you beginning to, or how are you planning to go to market? What sort of channels are you using, and what does that look like?
Right. So we have two main end users. One would be the vice president of real estate or marketing at a retailer. So that's somebody who needs to make big decisions. A big decision like, where should my next restaurant in my chain go? Or what should I spend in terms of advertising dollars for billboards and banner ads and, internet radio ads for the holiday season. So we support long lead time decisions for those people. When we go to market with them, we have two main ways to approach them. One is just straight up direct business to business enterprise sales. And honestly, we do that through cold calling, and we do it through trade events, shows and the like. In addition, we have a different channel for clients that already use geospatial data, already use analytics. They may be using an existing consultant or a software package. So we also have to make sure that our data can be used by the consultants, that a lot of the best consultants see us as one of their favorite tools in their toolkit, and that it can eventually plug into the leading softwares for that type of client.
Great. That makes sense. So you've got the kind of direct sales, and then you've got almost like partnership or resell through the consultants.
Right.
And you've been out selling at least on beta and trial versions for the last year or so. What struck you about selling or going to market? What's working well for you? What surprised you about the process?
That's a great question. One of the things that really surprised me is how effective cold calling has been for us. Nobody really likes to do it. I didn't like to do it. And I think for most people, our only experience of it is as a consumer. But when you're doing enterprise to enterprise sales, it's just remarkable how willing people are to talk, how they're interested in giving new things a shot, and that's been really exciting. So that early on was one of my big surprises.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I think you're probably one of the first people I've talked to who sort of said that about cold calling, but it's true, right? And it's the way you get hold of people. Well, let's wrap up with you started this company a couple of years ago. You're working things. What's been your sort of biggest takeaway, or what's the sort of abiding? What's the biggest thing that's left an impression on you and everything you've done over the last couple of years? Because you've come a long way.
I think that getting the first paying client was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I mean, it took essentially 2 years to get to one client, and I think they paid us like $2,000, something very small. That just know that the second client is easier than the first, and the third is easier than the second, and it keeps on rolling downhill. That from a sort of a sales and marketing perspective has been my number one takeaway. And I think the other one is, don't underestimate the value of your clients liking you. It's important that they like you, and it's important that you like them.
Well, Laura, that's those are two great takeaways. Hey, thanks for taking time with us today. Sure appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks.